आपको वैसे कॉन्ट्रेरियन इन्वेस्टर के नाम से जाना जाता है।
My top holding is HDFC Bank.
आपका ना HDFC बैंक के साथ पुराना रिश्ता है।
वो मेरे 90s और 2000 से पड़े हैं।
बट आपने तो 2000 में ले लिया, बाकियों का क्या जो 5 साल से बैठे हैं HDFC बैंक में कुछ रिटर्न नहीं आ रहा है। सिर्फ Paytm, Zomato, a lot of these names are what you bought early on when people didn't have conviction.
Everybody in the country knew growing at 20%. So why didn't the stock go up all in 1 year and then never went up?
So this narrative about India being lagging behind, whether it's in robotics, deep tech, AI.
We cannot do AI. I can explain. Now suppose India makes a LLM model which is 95% as good as the American model. Why will you choose a 95% wala model? You want to choose the best model? Because everything is online.
9 out of 10 fund managers tell me that we don't invest in loss-making companies. Maybe they miss out.
Maybe they miss out. No, they miss out. Because every company starts with a loss-making part.
India, a lot of young people are a little frustrated with one, of course, 2 years say market has not done well. Then there is the taxation angle, cost of living, inflation, no jobs. For that investor who's watching you right now and trying to just understand how does he make a corpus for himself, what would you say?
So first thing is that
Hey guys, welcome to the Money Mindset. Today, the guest on my show is Samir Arora of Helios Capital. Finally, we've caught him. He's here in Bombay and he's on the podcast. Samir, thank you so much for being here.
No, good to be here. You've been trying for so long, and I've been also trying to come on your show for so long. Chalo, finally it has worked.
Finally, it has worked. But what brings you to Bombay? You're here quite often, right?
I come every month or maybe maximum. I do at least 10 trips a year, but my job is India related. All my investments has an FII, plus we have this mutual fund business now. So I'm only living in Singapore. The work is all here and the heart is also X% here. I shouldn't say too much, otherwise the Singapore guys will say.
Your heart is here, your work is here.
No, I don't want to say 100% heart, otherwise the Singapore
But then you should move here. At some point you should move here also.
It's okay. Singapore is the nicest Indian city, so it's okay.
No, the nicest Indian city is Dubai.
Could be. But Singapore is also good.
But this time you're also here because of the mutual fund business has been doing really well. So congratulations on that. In the last, 2.5, 3 years, the business has taken off?
Not 3 yet. We started in November 23.
November 23, okay. And since then, the large cap, the flexi cap fund, all of that has done pretty well.
All of them have done well. Actually, we used to do well before also, but you were not seeing that. So now...
I think when you're in the mutual fund business, it becomes a little more front and
visible.
center.
It becomes more visible because everything is public. Yeah.
For retail also, right?
Of course.
So how are you feeling about the market? I know this is a question and I saw your, interaction a few days ago also with some of the TV channels. I heard you say that, people just find reasons to be upset.
That is my new theory. Because because I read books, so I find new theories to fit my books. So if you want, I can quickly repeat that. Broadly, the thing is that that book, which is called Halo Effect, is basically saying that the narrative is fitted to fit the outcome. So for example, let us say not about market, suppose me. So suppose my performance is good, which actually it is, guys, but suppose it is good. Now you have to fit it, that why is it good? So you'll say, you see, he's very experienced. He first worked in a global company, then he's worked in an Indian company, he understands X, he's FI. So this story will be made. Now, he's saying that is a wrong way of fitting the story, because then you have to see everybody who worked in a global company and everybody who also worked in an Indian company and everybody who was an FII. And then if it works, then that is a story. Otherwise, you have retrofitted the story. So stocks mein kya hota hai ki if a stock is doing well, now the public has to say, why is it doing well? Commentators have to say, you have to say, press has to say. So they'll say it has great management. Nobody knows whether it has great management or not, or they were just lucky. But because visibly you can see the stocks doing well, so it must be that everything is good. And same thing in reverse. Any stock which is down 30, 40, 50%, nobody calls it good management. Like these days, they don't even call IT good management. How? Now they don't know what excuse to give. So they'll say they did not invest in new businesses, but you have to find a reason why the price is down.
Like they say markets narratives follow market.
Yeah. So that's basically. So now what I say is that all the reasons given for why the Indian market is down are not independent reasons. These are reasons to fit the fact that our market is down. So for example, saying, or the roads are not being well made, and monsoon rain came and it made those whatever.
वो तो सही बात है.
No, but I'm saying that was there for 20 years also when the market was doing well. Suddenly they'll say the market became very expensive in 24 September. Right? You have seen? Maybe on your what? So please ask them next time when they come, or maybe you would never invite them again for giving you wrong information. But let us say in September 24, it was X% more expensive than it should have been. So that means a few months before, it was at that point. Suppose in September, suddenly now in hindsight, you see markets became overvalued in September 24. So the question should be about how much percent has it been? Did it become at that time? So let's say you say 20%. That means in that year only, because the market went up a lot, there was a 20% lower point. At that point, you should have said, now the market has become expensive. What people are saying is because the market has fallen from September 24, so it must be the case that in September 24, it had become expensive.
Too expensive.
That is what we mean.
But a lot of market watchers, not market watchers, fund managers, etc., had alerted in advance.
No,
only
in
that
general,
it was...
of course, in general, you can see when a market is going up a lot. But I'm saying not for any one individual, but broadly, for example, FIIs are finding valuations in India expensive. That is why they are staying away. The reality is that FIs have sold the largest 10, 15 companies of India, like the banks, IT companies, the ones where they had the maximum this thing, and they have bought every IPO, every QIP. They have expanded the number of companies in which they have more than 1% stake. They have massively increased their weight in high valuation companies like Eternal, like Paytm, like in all of these, which are from this report I was reading from ICICI report. So the point is they have sold the stocks that were trading at 10-year averages or low, and they have bought the new. So according to me, they did not sell for valuations. They sold for lack of growth in those large companies, and they have bought excitement.
But sideways markets tend to frustrate investors a lot, especially retail investors, right? What do you think is the outcome? I mean, is this a sideways market that could go on for, say, years? Because we've seen that happen in the past as well. Or do you think I know it's hard to time.
Where have you seen it? In India, you mean? In 90s, people talk. But 90s, because I was there, I think that is a wrong interpretation. In the 90s, what happened? When the liberalization happened, completely new businesses came, like IT, private banks and all these. Honda had got listed in, I think, late 80s or something. And the older companies, which were the Singhanias, the Modis and Grasim and all these of those days were the older companies. And many of them were affected by the opening up. So the index never changed. But that was the time, that 93 to 2005, when my NAV went up some 11 times in one fund, because we were buying IT, and Z went up 100 times. Okay. And HDFC Bank and HDFC and all these stocks were doing very well. So there the thing is that index was behind the times.
Even today the index doesn't actually reflect a lot of the new businesses.
But now they're small. So now it is not so straightforward. There it was very easy to beat the index. Now, no, not that much, because now the new companies relative to the index sizes and all are very small. So it's not that big a difference, but it will always be. So then people talk about Japan. कि Japan में हुआ था 80s में, and 90 से कब से 90. That time it became so excessive that this story is well known that the palace land under the imperial palace was valued at more than California's valuation. This story if you type on Google, okay? So India has not become like that. It used to be 18p, now it become 20p. So we will not take that yet as such an extreme valuation that it will take 10 years to... And by the way, one more thing. It has already recovered. If you see from September 24. So we and others also maybe launched these mid-cap fund. We launched in March 25. So it is up 40% or 38% now. So you have not reached the previous peak. But suppose the market was a peak and it fell like this, and now it has started going like this. So it may not reach here, but यहाँ से तो शुरू हो गया ना, the move up.
So you're saying the worst जो March, April में था, the worst is kind of over.
Now, these last 2 days, because Trump has again renewed the fight, that is the only angle that if it again becomes... But excluding that, for sure, because all the big things that were affecting India negatively. So what were they? Let's say big picture. One was, say that India does not have AI. was one reason. Okay. So that also whoever had to play that AI trade has mostly played, and mostly it has not worked. It has only worked for companies who were feeding into the AI demand. That means what Anthropic and OpenAI and Google are spending, which on data centers and on their models, on what they are spending on bigger servers and maybe more complex servers, or they are on chips and on memory. So those guys have benefited. But the guys who are spending have not benefited. I mean, OpenAI, Anthropic छोड़ देते हैं, but all the large other guys have not benefited. Meta stock is down, I think, for a year. Microsoft, they have spent at least some part on AI, down for the year. Grok, whatever money it has spent, mostly it has not worked. That is why they recently announced that they are going to lease their data center to Anthropic. And in fact, last to last week, was it that Meta announced that they also have overbuilt or committed to overbuild, so they are also leasing it out. So the stock went up.
But then there's the other side, right? The
Samsung
guys
guys
who supply to
उनका
Nvidia
हाँ,
hai,
that's
SK
what I'm saying.
Hynix
But
hai.
Nvidia, by the way, this year the stock will be up maybe 5%. So अभी क्या हो रहा है? हाँ, exactly.
it's
I'm
run
saying
up
so
now.
that I'm not saying that they didn't do well, but I'm saying that AI का जो desperation था, that has
वो cool off हो
cool
गया
off हो गया. Also because of volatility in
हाँ.
Korea and all. So वो India का negative थोड़ा neutralize हो गया. And
हाँ.
also I argue that 200 countries हैं. Some 2.5 countries have some AI angle.
हाँ.
Correct? Say China, but Chinese market is down a lot. If you, I own Alibaba, they also have some model down. The stock is broadly down a lot. So वो हो गया. Then the next India का आप angle कह सकते हैं that Indian currency was very weak, and that for whatever reason, and that was making the FIs hesitate. So वो भी because of these new steps, excluding these 1 or 2 days, broadly that had also settled, because it had already depreciated so much, and then at least it looked that the government has some interest in defending the currency at some point. So this FCNR and all the other things, interest, pay no tax and capital gains on government bonds and all. So भी 60, 70, 80 billion will come, वो भी हो गया था. Then was the earnings. No, before that you could say oil.
हाँ, वो
In
तो
March. So
cool
100
off
हो गया था,
after.
हो गया था. Again now a little bit it is up, but broadly, and price hikes have happened, so there's less room for worry about that. HPCL and all these guys, what will happen? Then what? Then was the earnings. So earnings have turned out very well actually. Actually, yesterday I met one broker, big broker, and he said that for them, excluding IT and excluding oil and gas, they think earnings growth this might be 20%.
But it has been, na?
हाँ,
If you look at
अभी first
mid-cap
quarter,
earnings
yeah.
also.
हाँ, mid-cap is up more than 20, small caps some 30,
Yeah.
and large caps I think 8 or 10.
And if you look at the Nifty mid-cap 100 index also, it's up 20% last 3-4 months में.
नहीं, वो तो because April 1 से है.
हाँ.
Because March was down a lot.
Correct.
And then,
So
but
recovery
still
has
broadly
been
I
good.
think it was in the end game, unless this new round of Middle East things.
But what about this narrative? And it's I know, like, I mean, as you said, right? Narratives follow markets and not the other way around. So this narrative about India being lagging behind, not just in AI, but in R&D spends across the board, right? Whether it's in robotics, deep tech, AI.
So 2 countries are doing. अब let them do. What can we do? We cannot do AI. I can explain. So AI model में. So AI model में these 7-8 guys tried, leave out the Chinese. So even there, 3 of them are not working. Meta का सब नहीं चल रहा ना, more or less. Grok नहीं चल रहा. Copilot, broadly nobody is interested. So there where they have spent 40, 50, 20, whatever number of billion, it has not worked. Now in the end, suppose there are 2 models, unless they choose, which is what will happen actually, that they will be experts in different fields, why would you choose the second model? अब suppose India makes a LLM model which is 95% as good as the American model. But in the end, if the prices are not very different, why will you choose a 95% wala model? You want to choose the best model? Because everything is online. That's why, I never bought this gaming company we have in India. I never bought the cyber security type companies in India which are online type. Because I said, why would you take for that an Indian game? Why won't you play a free foreign game? Because those things, they're not constrained by geography. So model ka bhi, how can you force somebody to use an Indian model?
But cybersecurity, for example, global has become a big thing. Palo Alto, for example, has become
But
huge.
I'm saying at that time I was talking about, because that time we were not so much this when these companies got listed. I don't want to give names. So they were more for your computer and laptop. And why would you choose a local if plus minus $5, $10 you can get a? At that time I thought we turned out to be right. What I mean is for these things there can be no boundaries. Agar uska model acha hai, you will use that model. And therefore you have to say कि my model will be as good.
वो तो होने नहीं वाला है.
वो बड़ा मुश्किल है, because even there the 6-7 guys who are trying with the same team of people moving from one company to another are not able to do it in the new company. That's what I mean. So it is right.
So for a foreign investor who's coming back to India with, okay, all the negatives are behind us and valuations are decent. What's in the next
logic.
2-3 years, not logic, what's the USP? Like, what is India going to be good at?
The logic is India is giving you 12 to 14% rupee returns. And if they are not spoilt by 3% currency depreciation, by 1 or 2%, so let's say 10% reh gaya, there are only a few pockets which will give you. For example, even in US, you leave out this very high growth where people are not willing to put 100% anyway. You will grow 10% with great difficulty only, no? So, वो पुरानी story है हमारी, that we will give you the part which is stable. And for this पंगेबाजी, you go and punt wherever you want.
कोरिया में जाओ,
जहाँ जाना है जाओ.
मुझे तो बड़ा फोमो हुआ, let me be honest, मुझे बड़ा फोमो हुआ क्योंकि मैंने कभी कोरिया ऐसे ताइवान ये सब मार्केट डाला ही नहीं कुछ पैसा, and then suddenly it's everywhere.
This is Micron. Sand is up some 40 times in 1 year. But nobody is willing to, I think, nobody is willing to buy those things now. Some are obviously buying. So
it's more like a trade.
Yeah. And nobody does 100% with that. Plus, I also realized, which I should have anyway, that all these funds have limits on how much they will put in one stock. So when I went to US in April, so they say, oh, you don't have AI. Or I only would say that is your excuse, even if they don't. So I say, you want to put 10% in Samsung, please put 10% in TSMC, 10% in SK Hynix, for 70. Okay, put 10 somewhere else. Okay, put another 10 somewhere else. 50 रह गए. अब तो आ जाओ. We don't want your first investment. Out of your 100, if we can crawl in as your last investment, that's also okay.
But इतने सालों के बाद, not having a SK Hynix or an Nvidia or a large, company on a global scale is kind of disappointing from an Indian standpoint.
True. But Samsung and all, you first see how much money they have to invest. Even now, both these guys have announced, I think, $800 billion to be invested till 2030. And of course, this year, they are going to make, like this guy is going to make 200 billion. वो तो scale नहीं है हमारा. What can we do with it?
Okay, so I want to also talk about your mutual fund business, which has done pretty well, and not so much about the returns, etc., which has been amazing, of course.
But you can tell the world. That's good.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. 14% absolute returns in the large and mid cap category.
Acha, maybe. This I don't know exactly.
And the flexi cap that started in November 2023 has seen a compounded growth of 18%.
हो सकता है. और index का बड़ा कम है उससे.
Not bad. Very good. But the big takeaway for me, and of course, people have discussed this ad nauseum, but for my viewers, I want to put it out there. You have no tech stocks, no IT stocks in your fund.
We have tech stocks. Paytm is a tech stock.
Okay, let me correct myself. No IT stocks in your fund. You've exited IT a long time ago. And this is very contradictory to one of the largest flexi cap funds in this space.
All of them.
Most of them have IT stocks.
And by the way, I must say that I used to run India's biggest IT fund, which was called Alliance New Millennium. I also used to manage an Asian technology fund for Alliance that was from Singapore. And till 2-3 years ago, we used to have 15-16% in IT.
And now zero.
Now zero. In some other funds, a little bit negative also. In short.
Okay, explain to me why that is.
Because, we have figured out that in all these new changes in technology which happen because of this great book I read, which is called The Engine That Moves Markets. But before that, I knew it qualitatively. That it is easy to know who are the losers from changes in technology, and it is very difficult to know who are the winners. So what that book has, although I am not giving this credit to this book, but that book just reinforces, and you can read it independent from my view. But this time I'm not giving it like halo effect, I give them credit. This one I say, oh, by chance they have the same view as me, kind of thing. But this has been written by an ex-Templeton head of research. So for every technology from 200 years ago, he has made there's one chapter on what happened then and what was the market feeling, what stocks did, and broadly who was saying what among those guys, like in internet before that, steamship, rail, telegraphy, all that, that it was disrupting something, and you knew that that fellow is gone, but you didn't know कि in 5, 6, 10 companies में से who will win. So we figured out in 24, 25, but we sold everything to zero in 25, that IT has two purposes. AI. AI has two purposes. One, to do things that were not possible before, or to increase the scale of things. For example, weather forecasting or drug discovery or some very complicated thing. What is the other? To replace human being. There's no third. Either broaden the capabilities and first or whatever is reduce manpower. तो मैन पावर कहाँ पर है? IT कंपनीज. तो वो पहले तो हमें ये लगा कि इट इज गोइंग टू ड्राइव डाउन. और नाउ इंडियन कंपनीज वो बिलिंग, दे मे नॉट से इट और से डायरेक्टली, बेसिकली दे आर बिलिंग फॉर आवर्स, टाइम, number of people, which is time only. So if those guys say that we can reduce coding, तो आपका coding का काम तो कम हो गया, आप जो मर्जी कहानी बनाओ. So then we asked a few companies and a few analysts कि in a 100 का project, $100 कह लें, whatever, 100% में, what is each work? So some 25 supposedly work in those days before all this happened was that you will, the customer will tell their own technology guy ki what do they want. I want, my screen to look like this. So what can you do? So he'll say, okay, I will write something. Then he'll show him. Then he will go to this side, which is our IT company, and say, I want this. So the business analyst from this side will say, okay, let me ask my coder that this is what the client wants. And now you tell me which technology you'll use, which software, God knows, whatever you will use. ये सब करने में 25% लगे. Then 30-40% will be actual work done. And then end में वो testing होएगी, ये होएगी. So this is the 100. Now beach वाला part तो you have bloody reduced it by 70-80%, which is actual coding. And the first part में, the theory is that now the framework, the skeleton can be made directly by not even the IT guy of the customer, but even by the original fellow who's going to, वो अपने आप ही बना के दिखा देगा कि मुझे ये चाहिए.
But that's happening in most industries now, na?
That is what I'm saying. If it is happening in most industries, you remove 30% work. So then, if you remove 30% work, you have got 30% less revenue.
So what's the future of these large IT companies?
No, nothing. All okay, all good. So I will explain. So now you look at it in current context. So the IT guys say that our AI related revenue is some 10, 12, 15%, and our old revenue is 85%. This 10%, they say will grow 50, 60, 70%. तो ये 15 हो जाएगा, suppose 10 का 15 हो गया, मतलब रुपीज में. ये था 90. ये आपके हिसाब से 90 का 85 नहीं होगा? If it becomes 85, because these two scales are very different. This guy is going 50%. This guy is falling, let us say 5. I think it will fall 20%, but let's say 5. Growth 0. Because that went up from 10 to 15. This went from 90 to say 85. Okay, so now you have 15% in AI related. Now, one more question I have is, in the last 1 year or so, or 2 years, Anthropic says that I have 50 billion annualized revenue. And OpenAI says some 30 billion or something. Ab I don't know about Gemini, uska bhi डाल दो 20 billion. So $100 billion इन्होंने, the companies, the customers have put, and this has grown maybe 5x from last year. And Anthropic is just today's news only that Anthropic is about to do road shows for IPO. So do you think that Anthropic can get away by saying that my next year's revenue will be $50 billion? It cannot.
No.
It has to say
It has to grow.
150, 200 billion. And we don't know. But the fact that very recently these stocks have been funded at similar 900 billion valuation. तो उनको तो पता होगा ना जो private है, हमें तो पता नहीं. So must be say 150 billion, let's say ऐसे ही. या 100 करो. चलो 100 कर देते हैं. So 50 will become 100 for this fellow. And for therefore plus minus OpenAI वाले का भी हो जाएगा. So next year's revenue will be 200 billion. हमारे AI वालों को 200 billion के connected work कहाँ है? Where is the work that those guys are spending 200 billion? And therefore to implement that we have got 100% growth. Their growth is 30, 40, 50, 60%. There should be 500% growth in that 10% wala part. Then I did one more thing because I do everything just on my Google only. Ki what is the worldwide? No, I did US. What is the US corporate profit pool? Okay, just by typing. So they say ki 3.4 trillion for 2,000 companies. Okay, then you add the world also, क्योंकि ये तो US है, चल डाल दो. 60-70% US होता है index में. So that means the world pool is 5 trillion. Then you say that is post-tax because that is profit. चलो आओ कुछ कर दो. 7 trillion is the worldwide profit of companies. अब आपने 200 billion या 150 billion next year you would have spent on these LLM models. We are not talking about Google spending on the data center, but the company. How does the company care? Company has to only give to the LLM models, and to fund that they have to buy data centers. में company को direct मतलब नहीं है, right? So 7 trillion pool में I just randomly created from 3.5. आपने 200 billion खर्च दिया on these models, 3%. वो 3% कहाँ कट करोगे? कहीं तो कट करो. वो 3% वहां तो 0.1% अगर रेवेन्यू प्रॉफिट कम हो जाए तो स्टॉक फॉल्स 20%. सो तो IBM का yesterday they wrongly misinterpreted. IBM is saying those guys say we have spent somewhere else. Worldwide, if you have spent 3% of your profit, pre-tax profit on a new thing,
on something new,
something new. You have to कुछ तो कट करोगे ना दूसरी साइड का. वो दूसरी साइड है क्या? वो हम ही है.
IT का जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स है.
तो कैसे जाओगे?
Oh wow. But फिर see,
so
I was mapping the last 5-6 quarters. IT companies are anyway growing 2-3% to last 5-6-7 quarters.
2-3% में इंटरेस्ट हो तो आप जरूर खरीदें.
नहीं, मैं तो बोल रही हूँ कि आपने जीरो बोला है.
मेरे को तो नींद ही आ जाती है कोई बोले 2%. तो मैं कहता हूँ मेरा स्नोरिंग ना शुरू हो जाए. No, why am I interested? I agree. That's what I'm saying. They are not going anywhere. They will grow plus minus this for some time till either these two balance. In theory, if the AI part of their thing really continues to grow and this part's, what is it called? Whatever, deflation or pricing pressure or reduction in work has come down. तो फिर उसके बाद चलेगा.
तो तब तक तो FD जैसा ऐसे मतलब डाल के रखो.
If you see even these companies themselves don't know. So how should I assume that I know? Mr. Chandra in his editorial in Business Standard or somewhere, he said कि it's a massive opportunity for India, 1 trillion, पता नहीं कितने trillion का.
What, AI?
का opportunity. Even I think Mr. Nilekani says कि it's a big opportunity for India. But when you say कि hiring, कहते नहीं hiring बाद में करेंगे. So it may be back-ended. It may be 5 years later.
And also if you look at the IT business model, बहुत सालों से उन्होंने over hiring किया था post COVID. वो bench में कितने सारे.
वो तो शायद maybe it's adjusted now. But I'm saying, and suppose we think that you will grow 2% and you massively surprise us by growing 2.5%. तो अब मैं उसमें अब लोगों को हमारे मार्केट में इंटरेस्ट आ जाता है. मुझे नहीं समझ आती है ऐसी बातें. हमें बोलो 12-15%
तब मजा आएगा. बट आई नोटिस दैट आपको बहुत लोग ऐसे कॉन्ट्रेरियन इन्वेस्टर के नाम से जाना जाता है. बिकॉज आई मीन नॉट इन दैट वे. लाइक इफ यू लुक एट
व्हाट यू बॉट HDFC बैंक. So then
वो तो अलग बात है. That I'll come to later. But also like names like say Paytm, Zomato, a lot of these names are what you bought early on when people didn't have conviction, and rightfully so.
So that is conviction. That is not. What I mean is, in our research or in our discussion, we don't say कि because ये stock nobody is buying, we should look at. ऐसे हमने कभी नहीं किया. इसलिए I don't consider, although it's one more good label to have. Well, अच्छी performance आप जो मर्जी good label you can give, we will accept. But I don't think like that because actually I say the other way around. I used to say, when people would say कि contrarian works, I say no. People say things are discounted, I say no. So I used to say, which now ये थोड़ा HDFC Bank ने खराब कर दिया, but I used to say कि everybody in the country knew that HDFC Bank is growing at 20%, in the olden days 25%.
हाँ.
So why didn't the stock go up all in 1 year and then never went up? It used to go up every year. So I used to say कि this idea that everybody knows, इसकी कोई value नहीं है, उसके execution has value. So in that sense, we are saying that we are not contrarian, even if everybody owns it, but its earnings grow 20% per annum for 5-10 years. Everybody knows it, but still not discounted.
So then what's your argument for HDFC Bank? Since you mentioned
no,
it
before that, let's
times.
go to Paytm and all.
Haan,
So I would not, but what I meant was we thought that those guys those are great businesses. And also I basically connect with the US and all. Plus I am more home with Indian realities, which some of the guys who were cynical were not, which are related to that you are not paying whatever you are paying for food delivery. You are not paying for food delivery. You are paying for avoiding pollution, avoiding traffic jam, avoiding convenience is one, but convenience के factors also सोचो. Parking, tipping the waiter there in the restaurant, then for
saving time,
pollution, फिर rain, फिर bad road, plus, which was my theory, you have just bought a new Netflix subscription. उसको कब देखोगे अगर बार-बार खाना खाने बाहर जाओगे? So what I meant was, then I, by the way, told them, they were saying, I said, you have one more point, that when they were in quick commerce, शुरू में, very beginning,
Zomato,
कि you also have to say कि you are a monopoly after 8 p.m. because the whole deal was with Kirana or with the shop. So Kirana guys will open at say 10 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever, and close at 7, 8 p.m. So for the rest of the X number of hours, you are the monopoly guy. Uski bhi value hai. This is a good point, I remember. Very early on in the
So I've noticed in your funds, some of your funds, you have Zomato and Swiggy.
Swiggy is actually, I don't have there. And यहाँ पे भी I think only एक आध fund में होगा.
Flexi Cap fund में
Flexi
है.
अच्छा,
किसी तो fund
so
में.
Swiggy में our heart is a little less than
Zomato.
Eternal. Swiggy में the supposed story is that it has negative value for the quick commerce business. Because if you give because the food is good. So the food multiplied by what you think should be the food multiple is more than the value of the company.
But this space is also getting very cluttered.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Abhi
so
Zepto
the second place में people are fighting. Zepto, अपना Amazon. तो इसलिए अभी हम
Flipkart में.
And by the way, when we keep talking about all these companies, even if you see the first company, what is the weight? Not first, Eternal, which we keep talking about, 3.5%. So our model is not that because you see me talking, that means my life is dependent on one company or one. No. Because again, I cannot in the evening be worried about some announcement from one company. In the evening, I'm going to see
Netflix
and US Cockbox. So I can't be worried, oh my God, 6 बजे क्या announcement कर दी किसी ने Eternal है, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं, चलो ठीक है 10% जाएंगे 20 जाएंगे अगर ऐसी गंदी news हुई. So I cannot be that, otherwise you cannot do this business for 30 years and be excited every
So
day.
you don't do in your own portfolio, for example.
There's
you
no
don't
portfolio.
Acha.
I'm
all
the
in
largest
the funds
holder in my global fund. My global fund, of course, I'm the largest. In my India fund, from there I am the largest. And here I am okay large.
Acha.
So only I have these old 4-5 stocks which were HDFC Bank.
आपका ना HDFC बैंक के साथ पुराना रिश्ता है.
वो मेरे 90s और 2000 से पढ़े हैं, वो फाइनेंशियल होते थे ज्यादा.
बट आपने तो 2000 में ले लिया, बाकियों का क्या जो 5 साल से बैठे हैं HDFC बैंक में कुछ रिटर्न नहीं आ रहा है.
तो अब वो हम कहते हैं कि so we used to call it and still call it high confidence in reasonable return, which means everybody knows about these companies, so you will make some 12-14%, which is not bad if the market is in that range, and little maybe better. अभी उसने जरा unreasonably low return दिया, अब शायद ठीक हो जाए.
5 साल में it's not even given 8-10%. And last 1 year mein it's down 20. But why do you think that is? There's nothing wrong with the banking business.
So first is, as I was telling you, that the FIIs have sold, I don't know for this stock, but in the top 10 I saw from this ISEC report, उसमें individually भी था, but they would have sold collectively about 200 billion or 150 billion in 10 stocks.
In?
10 stocks.
10 stocks.
मतलब top 10 stocks.
हाँ, top 10.
उसमें number 1 HDFC है.
हाँ,
अब उसमें separately इसमें कितने बेचे हैं I don't remember.
But why?
That has
उनको
been the
growth ही
case.
नहीं दिख
So
रहा है.
they used to have no, not only in HDFC. I'm saying in HDFC and
Correct.
IT and everything else, and maybe ITC. मतलब जो the larger names. So they were having, according to that report, which is very. It's not according. They just collected the data of each company's FII ownership. So there was 42% of FII money in these 10 stocks in 22 March. 42% of their money. So they had a motamati $1 trillion. So 400 and say 10, 20 billion was invested in 10 names. Abhi, according to that report, they have currently 22% in these 10 names, and their own size has come down to 800 billion. Okay, one is because there's been a fall in the market, and one is they've actually sold and taken out. So I don't know which day they sold, but let's say 160, 180 billion is in these stocks. And previously, it was 400. 400 may, let's say 15% is the fall in prices in dollar terms. So 350 हो गया suppose whatever. और अब अगर 200, so 100 odd billion की selling हुई है, 150 billion की selling हुई है in 10 names. उसमें leader हमारा hero है. तो इसलिए-
HDFC. But why do you still have it in your fund?
Because now it's very cheap, and first we thought it was okay, and now it's really cheap. So now okay, let
Now
it be.
there's no reason to.
Now it's okay.
But it has to still recover ना, मतलब अभी 20% down है 1
Last
year
month
में.
थोड़ा recover हुआ था.
तो opportunity cost भी तो कुछ
Yeah,
चीज
yeah.
होती
वो
है.
तो है ही.
हाँ.
So we are number one after having HDFC Bank in our.
You have a lot of banks, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI. So you're pretty bullish on the.
No, first of all, actually worldwide financials are a big sector. And even now you see JP Morgan doing well, Bank of America, वो चलते रहते हैं, because the thumb rule is that the banking sector will grow 1.5 times, मतलब उनकी growth, उनके loans वगैरह will grow 1.4, 1.5 times GDP. So GDP in rupee term, I mean in nominal terms. So Indian GDP, let's say, will grow 6-7%. So in nominal terms, 11-10%. So 14-15% type growth, which is damn good if it happens.
The other space, at least in your fund, and I'm just asking you for your overall philosophy on these sectors, right? You've been very bullish on the capital market space. So within your funds, you have names like
All the
Grow,
AMCs and all.
IFL Wealth, Motilal Oswal. You have the traditional guys like Motilal
IFL
and
Wealth
the new
नहीं है,
guys.
361 है वो.
हाँ, 361.
Different.
और Grow भी है.
हाँ.
So this thing.
So we are bullish.
Exchanges भी है, MCX
yeah.
वगैरह.
Because we like the financial sector. But before that, I was saying also that you can grow ko, you can take it two ways. We like new age and we like financial. So we have AMCs also, many of them. I also have there. Because we like this theme, and this theme is good. इसमें क्या बड़ा simple होता है. If you say AMC, हमारा business तो बहुत ही top class है. Because anyway, broadly, the market will go up, say, over time, 10% per annum. वो तो minimum है, right? So हमारा top line 10% वैसे ही बढ़ गया. Then there'll be deepening, broadening, whatever. तो 2-3% उसको आपको मिल गया. And 1-2% आप कोई नया product करोगे, ये करोगे. So 15% revenue growth for nearly life. In between there'll be negative periods, but since markets overall, including the negative periods, go up more than 10%, so in some periods it'll be negative only, but then the next, when it comes out, it'll be more than 10. That's where the annualized is more than 10. So ये सब में है. ये सब चीजों में ऐसे ही है ना.
हाँ, of course.
Now the only thing in
But what cycle of the bull run? हाँ, वही problem.
But right now the cycle for 2 years bad ही रही है, so it could be better. But the only angle now I little hesitate on these brokers and all is, and also exchanges, is that the government of India does not seem too keen on promoting this, which is correct.
FNO
FNO वगैरह. तो अभी उन्होंने, they have done a few things, whatever they did. Now if the market does not respond, then they can always tighten a little bit more. Because they can't say कि we were negative, we did our thing, but they didn't care. So what can we do? So you just maybe do one more round.
And a lot of their business has been affected also because of that.
Yeah. Volumes have come.
Grow, Zerodha वगैरह. Volumes have come down a lot.
So वो cost वगैरह से they are doing well.
Okay, so capital markets companies we spoke about. अभी मैंने देखा कि of course new age business is something you're very excited about. Not just Zomato, but
No, I'm excited.
हाँ. So you have Swiggy, you have something like Honasa, you have Physics Wala.
Correct.
But
we have delivery. We have Shadowfax. And we like, actually some of the guys in India I don't have because they're small company, Amagi. So their logic is as follows. That for 30 years I've done these companies and I'm bored of those old companies, even if I own them. Even if I own them, like, I own this bag. Bore हो गए, but you have to
कुछ
freshen.
नया बताओ.
हाँ, but नई कहानी सुनाओ and growth भी थोड़ी अच्छी बताओ. So for these companies which are loss making, you have to worry that these things they are doing something valuable and useful, and which is really like tough to do because not everything is. It should not be a gimmick, right? And second is that you should be able to study unit economics to say कि हाँ per unit तो he makes money, but he is losing because he is growing so fast that by the time the new segment makes money, I mean, the old part is making money. For example, let me explain. So, for example, in physics wala, the online is making money, and that you can see, but he is expanding outside. I mean, he's going physical, so there he's making loss. Therefore, the whole thing looks a bit
Correct,
odd.
correct.
So, in eternal type guys, you will say that their old stores are making money, which were 2-3 year old. But because you're growing at such a rapid pace,
Blinkit is still sitting on a loss.
no, so because the new stores, I'm talking about Blinkit only, the new stores are making a loss, and the number of new stores is more than the old. But when you see a steady state coming in, say, 2 years, the old store which was 2 years old is making whatever X% margin, तो इसका भी बन जाएगा. So that is the way to look at it. Actually, the same thing is done even in physical world. For example, in the olden days when these hospital companies or these hotel companies did not have so many hotels.
Rooms.
So when hotels. So an old hotel would make money. Now that fellow wants to expand. As soon as he makes a new hotel, the whole company makes a loss.
Correct.
So he would say, no, this is my...
Wait for 3 quarters. फिर वो...
नहीं, 2 साल. So my old hotels are making money which were 5-year-old. Same thing the hospital guys would say. Then 2 to 5-year-old में इतना margin हो गया है, which is not the same as the steady state margin. And ये तो मैंने अभी शुरू किया, 2 साल हुए, 1 साल हुए, तो why? So it's the same concept. But if you refuse to engage with them, we don't invest in loss-making companies. ऐसी बातें करोगे, then you will not appreciate.
So I wanted to talk about that because most people, 9 out of 10 fund managers tell me that we don't invest in loss-making companies. And maybe they miss out, but that is
maybe they miss out. नहीं, they miss out. Because every company starts with a loss-making part.
नहीं, जरूरी नहीं है. Traditional companies don't have losses.
Maybe when they were private.
हाँ.
अब सोचो, some of us are jealous of private equity guys making money and running away with these billions. So they invested in profit-making companies. But we are safer than them. They invested when they were concepts. Those concepts may, let us say, how many food delivery companies would have been there 10-15 years ago? I read that book on Blinkit. जो भी नाम था, Build It. So I think there were maybe 15-20 food delivery companies. तो उसमें से 2 रह गई. So you already in private space seen that these guys have done better. The guys who invested along the way, and now you feel jealous because they are running away with our billions, have all made money from loss-making companies.
Correct.
So suddenly यहाँ पे क्या हो गया कि public market वाला बोले, I don't invest in loss-making companies. अरे भाई, loss-making companies का you can pattern, predict, connect with the US here, there, and then buy a little bit. When we bought 2%, 1.5%. Now that I'm so excited, I feel like doing a full fund of new age. But उसमें क्या होगा? Since everybody will know that this is loss-making companies or that these are more volatile, you will appropriately put only 5%, 2% in those.
And you have that caveat. No, 100%.
Caveat को तो understood होगा ना if the whole thing is like that.
100%. Like, for example, Ether. When Hero you have it in your fund, right?
We were anchor at 300. And now
we are loss making, but dekho
performance. And now we are buying at 6 times the QIP.
And when Hero invested initially, itna bada loss, but look at their investment, where it's gone. It's phenomenal.
No, but that if somebody uses this logic, then he's just appealing to some customer who might be. The thing is, you cannot go along with the customer. It's like this. You can't say कि because मेरा ना customer बेचारा दुखी रहता है, वो मेरा डरता रहता है, तो मैं उसे बोलूँगा नहीं, don't worry. You should be able to convince your customer कि भैया you are wrong.
But not many fund man. I'm being very
because
honest
of this
with
only,
you.
Na. They are doing a job. I am doing passion. So I will very convince the customer of mine कि 15%, 10% करने दे.
No, I also think it's about adapting to the times, which a lot of people don't do.
I am a young guy. That also.
I was going to say that, but you said it
But
before
actually,
me.
क्या है? Dinshaw always tells me कि mutual fund शुरू होने से ना, I've got a new professional life because everybody is bored of the old. But my thing is, some of these high net worth guys are actually running old businesses. That's how they became family office. So I was talking to one guy on Zoom. So he was talking the same. I said, the people are bored with these old companies. I forgot that he also is running a bloody even older company. Those are even older, like chemical or some soda ash or some bloody 100-year-old business.
Correct. Pipes. Oh God. Matlab, they've made their millions, but...
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
What are these first
I was
world
not
problems?
talking about him. I was talking about the banks, IT, these old consumer type companies. Listen, now look at old consumer type companies. These big, massive companies.
ITC, ऐसे सब.
ITC का चलो cigarette related थोड़ा, I don't have it, but I'm saying yeah. But some of these guys who make soap, shampoo, ये चीजें उन दिनों में were very difficult to replicate for 2-3 reasons. One is they would say that we have 6 पता नहीं कितने million outlets, so how in your life you will reach. अब वो कोई commerce वाला कहता है मुझे पैसे दो, I'll make them. I'll deliver them for you. Then they would say in those olden days that we advertise on television and that is a 500 crore, pata nahi kitne crore ka advertising on Z and others. So how a new guy will do? अब the new guy कहता है मैं तो ऐप वाले को 2 crore रुपए दे दूंगा वो ऐप के अंदर when the decision is being made, या मैं Facebook में डाल दूंगा and I will only. So that mass advertising is not even needed. It can be broken down into small thing. Third is they would say we have this great brand, we have this great quality because either we developed a shampoo with some silky hair. और नया वाला बंदा कहता है do you want avocado shampoo, do you want onion shampoo, do you want bloody some पता नहीं क्या.
Honasa.
Any of them. Every fellow has some shampoo, some soap. Every family of his son is developing a brand of these 4 things.
There's a lot of disruption happening to traditional companies.
एक item पे 50 competitors have come up. Even chips वाले के chip, ये South Indian chip है, ये North Indian chip है, masala chip है. So these things, the guy who's selling has become the powerful guy. The retailer is powerful. Quick commerce is powerful. किसका लगाया जाएगा?
Shelf space किसको देना है?
Screen space किसको देना है?
Correct. Wow. Actually, I was just thinking about advertising the other day कि where do people, पहले क्या होता था, टीवी पे देख लेते थे, बिलबोर्ड्स पे देख लेते थे, न्यूज़पेपर में देख लेते थे, रेडियो पे. अभी नहीं. Now, if you want to say, for example, you want to take a flight, right? Earlier you would go on a Make My Trip and check. Now you just ask ChatGPT, right?
That also you can do, yeah.
Like which is the best flight from Mumbai to New York?
So we used to own a travel agent. I used to own there, and now I've sold that off because that became a bit confusing. It would disrupt. So that is an issue with my physics wall also a little bit.
Of course.
So, but in the end we
even
figured.
Honasa, let me be very honest with you. Honasa was great when, of course, their Mama products, etc., were great initially. Now the place is so cluttered.
But
they are into anything and everything, right? Sunscreen bhi hai, makeup bhi hai. That whole space is cluttered. And I get that market penetration. You go to tier 2, tier 3 cities. But if you're targeting top 5% to 10% of India, how much makeup or how much sunscreen will a person buy?
You must be using all of
I don't even buy once a year.
You're natural.
Yeah, I don't buy once a year also. And I'm saying this is not just me. Like I'm saying this space has become so cluttered. Like you said, there are 50 companies now making sunscreen in India. So what is the moat that Honasa has?
So that was initially, I mean, we bought it recently only after that overstuffing of channels and all went away. So अब हम उसका rebound खेल रहे हैं. अब let's see. Because people learn, na. You know, it's like I used to tell, like we had very bad performance in 8, okay, because we didn't sell in time. Everybody had bad.
In 2008.
So मुझे 10 में कोई बोलेगा, oh, you know, you learned, we also learned. You know, not only you were not the only one learned, we also learned. So these companies will say the same thing. If an analyst comes and says that, you know, this should have been done, that, so they also, everybody is learning and everybody learns. So as of now, we are giving them this chance.
The leeway.
Chance.
Okay, but it was really fun talking to you, Samir. And I think after very long, we're talking for so long.
Correct.
So it's so nice to understand. But I want to, most of my viewers are young people, investors. And I'll be very honest with you. India, a lot of young people are a little frustrated with multiple things. One, of course, 2 years, say market has not done well. Then there is the taxation angle, cost of living, inflation, no jobs, everything. You can name 100 reasons, right? So for that investor who's watching you right now and trying to just understand how does he make a corpus for himself, what would you say?
So first thing is that I can't do about their other frustrations. I can talk about market and wealth or whatever. So I say, because many people, kids of my age, friends and all who are, or even on Twitter, I say, don't think that stock market is your profession. Don't try and become a day trader, a prop trader, prop investor, simply because आप अकेले बैठे हो. How will you pass the day first, you tell? Because when we are doing this all our life, we are doing it in a company with a large AUM. So companies come and meet us, analyst comes and meets us, strategist comes and meets us. We go and give some free gyan. Ab these fellows will have to, when they are doing it on their own, learn everything on their own, do second hand from YouTube. You never meet a management. You see a curated YouTube interview and say, I like this management. And वैसे भी, how can you pass 20, 30 years in isolation, sitting in a room every day? And if you think that you can do day trading and all, that is even worse, or trading or F&O, because वो तो actually zero-sum game है. Investing is not a zero-sum game. It is a zero-sum game if you start counting opportunity cost. For example, you sold me Paytm at 400 and it became 1200. So you lost the opportunity, but you didn't lose 800 rupees.
Correct.
But in okay, you can feel sad about it. Okay, I can't do anything. But in F&O, one guy win, the other guy has to lose. There is no third guy coming in and giving. So usme by definition, everybody cannot make money. And reality is that 90% don't make, because the 10% who are making are these organized high frequency guys and people using some fast models or even normal models or having some very smart guys. तो ये करना ही नहीं है. आपको नौकरी करनी है या काम करना है, बिजनेस करना है. And the purpose of the stock market is to treat the money that you made somewhere else well. That you are not putting it in a lower return thing or a whatever. So stock market is not for you to make money that way. वो अगर आप एक झुनझुन वाला के सैंपल से कर रहे हो तो दैट इज 1 out of मे बी चार और जोड़ दो आर के दबानी ये तो 50 आदमी 100 200. That is not a model. It's not a model. So don't do. Give it to us. We are charging some little fee.
and now your mutual funds also.
And you, आप मुझे तो कह रहा हूँ. And वहाँ पे तो हम परफॉर्मेंस ही लेते हैं, यहाँ की बात हो रही है. And you earn in your business and
you
do a
invest,
job and you invest. Then another thing people say, SIPs won't make you wealthy. Obviously, how बेचारा 500 रुपए डाल रहा, how can you make him wealthy? वो 500 का what else he could have done, उससे better है SIP. But not कि 500 मैंने डाले मेरे को तो wealthy बनाया नहीं. Because they say SIPs don't make you wealthy. No, they don't. It's just that whatever you put, in theory, it should be that you could not have done much better in some other.
So why should I do an SIP in mutual funds? Then I'd rather just buy direct stocks, right?
No. That's what I'm saying. That if you know that, please लगाओ फिर उसमें आप अपने आधा दिन उसमें लगाओ to save 0.5% and then say that you will outperform the guys who are.
मैं तो नहीं लगाती हूँ. मैं तो अपने जो भी stocks है पहले के मैं
बाकी हमारा flexi cap सब काम कर रहा है. No, what I'm saying is actual thing should be do career.
How much you earn?
Just to say कि I do, because you don't know what to say, because you are not building a career or and you can't be just I am angry with my boss. उसके लिए लोग retire होना चाहते हैं. ऐसे होना life होती है.
But okay, so you've done this for now what, 30 years?
ज़्यादा ही हो गए. If I don't count only India, then I started 91.
91.
But if you say only India, yeah, then
Your first investment was in 91?
No. My job was in 90.
Your job was in 91, huh? Alliance.
Yeah.
Achha.
In New York.
And when did you start investing your own personal money?
Actually, I invested only in IPOs before that when I was in IIM, which was 85 and all. I invested in Modi Xerox, where I got some 200 shares. And I invested in 1 or 2 more, but not in the stock market, because हमारे घर में कोई करता ही नहीं था. So I did not do. Because I got this job, I got interested.
You learned on the job, okay.
No, I was not even interested. If I had got a job with McKinsey, suppose at that time, I would have joined McKinsey. मुझे क्या है?
Achha.
I wanted a good job. हम तो सीधे साधे लोग हैं.
And फिर job के through you started.
Then I realized ये तो मेरे लिए बनी है.
Interesting. I thought you.
No, I have not.
Stories
No
कितनी
young
अलग-अलग.
passion, no
नहीं,
nothing, no
अच्छा.
knowing, and last day also no interest. Suppose Alliance and McKinsey मिल जाती. Most probably I would have gone to McKinsey those days because I didn't know Alliance, I knew McKinsey name.
फिर आपका नेटवर्थ कैसे कंपाउंड होता था?
वो तो बड़ा कम हो जाता है.
हाँ.
बोरिंग भी होती है.
वो ऐसे बोलते हैं ना, someone once told me that a plane when it takes off, even if it moves like 5 degrees here and there, पूरी दूसरी destination तक पहुंच जाती है.
Exactly. Life का भी ऐसे होता है.
Life.
Now if you say कि when did you meet this fellow, your husband, वो अगर इधर से उधर हो जाता या पहली मीटिंग में खराब हो जाता, स्टोरी ओवर, कोई और स्टोरी बन जाती.
Butterfly effect. हाँ. Okay. Finally,
By the way, I applied for 150 jobs in my mass mailing model. Okay, I didn't know कि अलायंस है कौन. मैं तो जिसका फंड मैनेजर का नाम था सबको भेज दिया. तो अलायंस वालों का कॉल आ गया.
from IM.
No, from US, important.
अच्छा.
So my mother was in US at that time. So she called me in the evening because वो phone होता था ना. So she said, you got a call from Alliance Capital. मैंने जाके लिस्ट में देखा है कौन Alliance Capital. मैं तो सबको भेज दिया.
But Wharton से placement नहीं मिला था?
No, I was doing PhD.
अच्छा.
I was not doing MBA.
Okay.
And I because I didn't complete my PhD, so I have a master's. So I was applying in the period which is not the recruitment period.
अच्छा. On your own.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
They don't let the PhD guys use the MBA placement.
Of
वो
course.
MBA वाली अपनी नौकरी.
MBA इतने सारे पैसे भर रहे हैं क्यों किस
वो
चीज
कहते
का?
हैं कहाँ घुस रहे हो हमारे मॉडल में. But I should take the names of the screen and apply on the this thing and just apply myself.
So you're pretty well educated, huh?
Of course.
No, I'm asking because today's
I was a gold medalist at IIM Calcutta.
I know that.
So
I
then-
know that. Yeah.
And Wharton and IIT Delhi.
But you think?
And St. Columbus.
But you think education still holds that
Of
much
course.
value?
नहीं अब आजकल वो कहते हैं कि if
भी
you
AI की वजह से.
अब पता नहीं प्रैक्टिकली हाउ यू टेल मी. प्रैक्टिकली आप स्कूल कॉलेज आप जाते हो पढ़ाई करने के लिए जाते हो बट मोस्टली टू बी एबल
Social skills.
इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाओ, wake up on time, things like that.
उसके लिए इतना फीस.
And it's not so much networking. Some people go with that attitude. Dude, I don't even know many of the guys. Whoever I know.
Because
But
someone was saying Harvard. I read a piece that
Harvard
Harvard
वगैरह में तो
University का MBA has demand has crashed by some 50%.
no, that is because US demand would have come down because US is not giving you a path in terms of what will happen after you study. And
Job.
rest of the world is useless. My daughter went to UK and absolutely useless colleges. वो करना था तो US ही था. And US में वो आजकल वो हो गया है. So that way India ये वो अब now you just do whatever can fit. Because US में आपकी guarantee नहीं है ना बाद में H1 की and उसकी.
And now everything is available on
नहीं वो बात नहीं है. If you want to go to and stay
proper
there,
call. हाँ.
then it has to be top 15-20 only. 21st is as good or bad as any other.
Fair. Okay, finally, actually, I mean, I've been wanting to ask you this for so long, and I must tell our viewers that you are someone who reads a lot. You're a voracious reader. Everyone knows that. But a lot of people don't know that you also send, the top books that you like every year without fail to people who you love, you care about, and, your acquaintances professionally. And you've been sending me books.
No, by the way, this time I gave to Twitter followers also 200 copies.
Acha.
I think 150 ki 200. And I just signed. That was the halo effect.
Okay, final question. Top 5 book recommendations. I know it's a hard one for you.
That is hard because, it depends on the interest of the other person. So in general, I say, by the way, I get many summer trainees in Singapore they only come for reading books for 10 days. Over 10, 15 years, maybe 20, 30 people have come. So उसमें मैं कहता हूँ कि first, if you are interested in markets, in investing or even in a finance job, Wall Street job, want to work for Goldman Sachs, वगैरह, you must understand business. ये नहीं कि stock market का curve क्या है, P, she, nobody in the world is interested. So you have to read business. Business means you read books on businesses to see how businesses make money or how they are organized. So read book on Walmart, on Apple, on Google, सब मिलती हैं. And or Elon Musk biography you read. ये सब में क्या है कि you get into this, you learn the language of our business. And so I made a lot of money just by reading Elon Musk biography because I never used to like Tesla. By the way, still I don't own it. But that time मैंने कहा यार बेचारा इतना हीरो है, कोई थोड़ा सा तो टेस्ला में डाल देते हैं. So it went up. I bought it in 22 or 23. It went up 2-3 times. I sold it off. But free के बन गए by reading one book. Okay? Then I read this book, Chip War. Chip War was actually that time Financial Times Book of the Year. This I think was 22. And markets were down anyway. That book, if you read any point in your life, but don't read it now, you will be convinced that you have to buy Nvidia and TSMC and this ASML, the Holland wali. उसमें आप बच ही नहीं सकते. But fortunately, my timing was when the book came out were bad days. So I made 8x.
And Nvidia.
And I sold it off now. Actually, I sold it 140 or so, up to 200 कुछ है. So ये तो, but book भी बड़ी अच्छी है. But I'm saying biography type ऐसे. But if I used to say now what I like or what I keep talking, these are the two books I talk most in the last 1 year. One is Halo Effect, because I have been able to use it. पहले I read it and it was great, but now I can fit it. And second one is the engine that moves market, because aajkal that is a discussion that how to identify new technology, and that actually I read recently only, maybe a year ago. Otherwise, if you say all time classics, उसमें मेरे को तो सबसे अच्छी लगती है Fooled by Randomness.
अच्छा.
Which is Nassim Nicholas Taleb की है. They have many books. All of them are very complicated to read.
Very complicated. I struggle with his books.
Claude. Use Claude. I mean, you guys, whoever, you use Claude. But Claude को detail कर देना ना. Actually, Claude doesn't have that much depth in books. Because I was reading a space science fiction book. It was really complicated. तो मैं कहा यार मेरे को पहले तू next chapter की summary बता. Then I will read it and I will relate to it immediately. Claude says, I have a big picture view, but you upload the book, then I will give you. But those things open I knew, chapter by chapter. Okay, so that is, I think, the difference in the end that will come. One guy will be good in some literature type. So one guy
Notebook LM is also pretty good.
Huh?
Notebook LM.
अच्छा उसमें भी ऐसे होता है? I don't know.
उसमें तो you can convert PDFs into podcasts.
अच्छा नहीं वो तो अलग चीज हो गई.
Book and then there are two people discussing
I was not
the
doing
book.
that. I was just because there were so many characters, so many things. So I was trying to figure out कि my God ये तो, because I sometimes when I'm reading the random books, I'm also watching TV. तो अब I have to be थोड़े आसान हो गए तो I can do two things. Otherwise I have to do only one thing. So what I'm saying is, so then somebody told me, by the way, as an aside, कि because those guys don't care about rules, OpenAI, तो उन्होंने सारी books bloody pirate करके पढ़ ली हैं जो भी, मतलब without. But what I'm just saying is, so you can do that also for some books, doesn't matter. But first is get interested in this. I met one son of a friend about 5-7 years ago. कहता है कि I am doing trading. My dad has given me पता नहीं 1 crore की 50 lakhs. Because what do you do? कहता है every morning, I won't tell you the name, but one of these broker traders calls him up and tells him कि आज ये share लेना है और लेना है वो ले लेता है. मैं क्या यार ये क्या? So
बहुत लोग करते हैं ऐसे, by the way. बहुत लोग करते हैं.
What papers do you read? कहते no, I don't read. मैं कहा बिजनेस स्टैंडर्ड तो पढ़ ले, कोई ईटी तो पढ़ ले, कोई बिजनेस रिलेटेड कोई मिड पढ़ ले, 4 चीजें तो पढ़. So how can you? Yeah. So read newspaper first.
And then move on to
and
books.
Then read magazine first. Then get summaries from Claude or OpenAI. Then read a book if you don't otherwise like reading. But you cannot go anywhere in life without reading.
I agree. I completely agree. When I read a lot. And thank you so much for being here. By the way, I must appreciate one thing. I talk to a lot of fund managers and I've realized that your thought process is very progressive compared to your age. I'm just being honest because in your category, the people are still, a lot of them live in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to them. That's just how their brain functions. I think people also don't like to take risks because if they feel something has worked for the last 20 years, it will work for the next 20. And I've realized in my journey that that's not the case.
Correct.
I mean, I was a part of a platform that
you would have been happy all your life.
A platform that was dying really quickly. And then when I noticed that and I pivoted, it was challenging.
New thing.
But correct. I'm so glad that you have that progressive approach and maybe it comes through because of your reading and all of that. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
And enjoy your India trip.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.